Are you in the market for a new microphone? Maybe it's your first microphone, maybe it's a step up from the one that you've been using. Well, choosing the right microphone can be a difficult and tedious process, but it can also be a lot of fun. So today, I want to help you choose the right microphone. Let's get into it.
This is the place for podcasters.
Hey, welcome back to the channel. Brian here with Summit City Studios. And on this channel, we talk about tips, tools, and tech to help you create a great podcast. And one of the key elements to creating any podcast, much less a great podcast, is a microphone. And choosing the right microphone can be difficult. A few years ago, I was on the hunt for my first microphone. And I purchased this bad boy, the Blue Yeti. This is a pretty standard podcast microphone. You probably see it in a lot of streamer setups, and you probably hear it a lot more than you realize. This is a pretty standard microphone, but I quickly realized that I besides liking the look, besides loving the features, besides loving the simplicity of it being a USB microphone with gain control, with 4 different polar patterns, with a headphone jack that I can monitor in real time with 0 latency, this wasn't the right microphone for me. And so now I use it occasionally, but it sits on my shelf a lot of the time. I want to help you avoid spending money on a microphone that you don't need. So let me share 4 things that you should consider when purchasing your first or your next microphone. They all start with an S, so I'll make it really simple. What you have to spend, the setup that you have, the space that you're recording in, and the sound that you want to get out of that microphone. Now, that last one is a little subjective, so we're not going to dive too deep into that one, but I do want to give you some thoughts on that, but we'll save that till the very end. Let's first talk about your spending. And let's be honest, most YouTubers who are starting out, most podcasters who are just starting out don't have a lot of cash laying around to spend on a lot of equipment. So for most of us, we are looking in probably the $120 or less range. Most of the microphones you're going to find in that range are USB microphones. And there's a difference between a USB and an XLR microphone in the setup. We'll get into that in just a second. So consider your budget. What do you have to spend when you're purchasing a microphone? If it's that budget range, probably start looking at a USB microphone like a Blue Yeti or the FIFINE K658, which I reviewed a few videos ago. I'll post a link up here. The TONOR TC30 that I also reviewed in a recent video that I'll also link here in the card and in the video description. So consider what is it you have to spend. That's important to consider first before you go shopping for a mic, because you're going to find a lot of mics that you really love that you may not be able to afford. The second thing you need to consider is the setup, the simplicity of the setup that you're going for. Again, I talked briefly just a second ago about USB mics versus XLR mics. Now, a USB mic is going to be pretty much plug and play. Super simple. You set the mic on your desk, put it on a stand, put it on a boom arm, however you want to set it up. Plug in the USB cable to the mic, plug in the USB cable to your computer, and you're good to go, minus maybe some steps you got to walk through on your computer to get it all set up. But it's super simple. An XLR mic, on the other hand, if you are recording into your computer, you're going to need a go-between. We call it a USB interface, where you can plug the XLR cable from the mic into the interface, and then it has a USB cable out to plug into your computer. I use the Rodecaster Pro as an interface. It's a mixer. It's an all-in-one podcasting studio. But my point is this: if you're looking for something simple, a USB mic is the way to go if you don't have a lot of space. If you have a little bit of extra space and you want maybe a little bit better sound and you have a little bit more to spend, maybe consider buying an XLR microphone with an interface that then plugs into your computer. So let's talk about the third thing that you need to consider, and that is the space that you're recording in. A lot of people record their podcasts in their closet or their bedroom, and the biggest reason for that is all the soft surfaces in your bedroom, in your living room, even especially in your closet, help to dampen the sound. In this space here, I've got 4 bare walls that I started with. So I had to build some sound panels, some sound dampening panels. I had to put a rug on the floor here, and I did some other sound treatment in here to dampen the sound. but it's still not great. So when you're considering the right mic for you, if you have a lot of soft surfaces, you can pretty much get any microphone that you would like. If you have a lot of hard surfaces, you get a lot of echo and a lot of reverb, you probably want to go with a dynamic microphone. The fourth and final suggestion I'll make to help you consider what mic is right for you is the sound quality that you desire out of that microphone. I'm not going to say too much about this one because it is extremely subjective, but I will encourage you to do your research because every mic is different. No two mics are alike. The frequency responses of all of those mics are different. So do your research. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, do your research. There's plenty of YouTubers out there who are creating content talking about the frequency response. So pay attention to that. Totally subjective. What do you want and what mic is going to help get you there the best? So just to recap, the 4 suggestions I made in this video for you to consider when choosing what mic is right for you is your budget, what you have to spend, the setup and the simplicity that you are looking for, the space that you're recording in, and the sound that you desire out of that microphone. But maybe I missed something. Maybe your qualifications for a new microphone are different than mine, and I'd love to know what those are. So let me know in the comments below what I missed, what's a factor that you have to take into consideration when purchasing a new mic for yourself. Hey, I hope this video was helpful. If so, let me know by hitting that like button and consider subscribing to the channel for more content just like this designed to help you create a great podcast. Hey, if you haven't heard, I launched a new podcast. It's called Good Podcasting, and it's available now on all the major podcast directories. And much like this channel, it's designed to help people like you create, launch, and grow their podcasts. Check it out.